of the following questions. It may appear to you that this is looks like a simple question. It's not that way. So now let's study the question. It reads, it is a feeling of excitement, curiosity, or expectation about what will happen next in a work of art. Now, take some few seconds to read this particular expression, this particular literary expression, then identify the literary term or the concept. I believe that now you are able now to tell that when it comes to you or when it comes to me, I'm going through the literary work, then I develop a feeling of excitement, a feeling of being curious to know what will happen next in a work of art, say a novel, a drama, or a short story, that you are going through a work of art, then a feeling of excitement that what will happen is you're in such a feeling, then that story or a drama comes to an end. So you wish to know what will happen, but immediately a drama or such a work of art comes to an end. Then you'll be like, ah. Now, as you're in such a feeling, then you're told it will continue next week. So you are left with such excitement, you are left with such a feeling of being curious, of knowing what will happen next. Now, when it comes to that particular next week, you you start following, you remain focused, because you have a feeling of knowing, or curious of knowing what will happen. My students, remember that the artists are very much keen to create such feeling to the audience. So as you remain focused, you become so concerned about that particular work, say a drama, a short story, or a novel. So, having this said, now the literary term or concept in this particular expression is suspense. It's a suspense. Now, a suspense is a feeling that audience develop when going through literary works. A feeling of, or the desire of knowing what will happen next in a work of art. Now, I have a simple question for you. Have you ever experienced such a feeling when going through the work of art? And did you know before that that feeling of the desire of knowing what will happen is called suspense? Obviously, yes. That we have been coming across with such works of art where you develop such a desire or a feeling of knowing what will happen. Having this said, my dear students, now I believe you have understood that particular concept. So let us now move to the next expression or next question. Dear students, here our next question. It reads, an account on person's life written by the person himself or herself. In other words, a story about a person's life written by a person himself or herself. Like you or me writing a story about me, or you write about your story or your life story, like where you're born, the year, the place, the school that you attended, the college that you attended, the work experience or the company that you worked with, the accomplishments that you did while working, the research skills that you went through, the training, but that story has to be written by yourself. Or that story has to be written by myself. Now, can you tell what that concept that fits in this particular expression? Obvious. The concept that fits here is an autobiography. And this is spelling. Autobiography. An autobiography is about the story of someone's life written by a person himself or herself. This particular story is characterized by the use of the first person pronoun singular, which is I. This pronoun I is very much common when one writes a story or life story about himself or herself. For example, my name is Aswile Jacob. I was born in 1989. When I was at the age of 15, I did a research, my dear students. So the word I, or the pronoun I in there, sounds louder because it's me who is writing a story about me. And the story, all the information in there are true because it's a story about my life, and therefore can be proven. If one wants to prove that I was born in that particular year, I will just display my birth certificate, my dear students. I believe now this concept autobiography is clear. Now, you may be asked in the same page that now what is biography? Today, you have been asked about this when you say it's an autobiography. Tomorrow, you'll be asked a different question, like saying, what is biography? Now again, this is to do with a story of someone's life written by another person. Like you, student, writing a story of my life. You, students, writing a story about me, then that one won't be autobiography, rather will be biography, because it is someone else who is writing a life story about someone else or of another person. I think I've made myself clear on these two concepts. One more thing, my dear students. You may ask yourself that in a work of art, where do we get this autobiography or biography? Remember the concept of fiction and non-fiction. Students, remember these two concepts of fiction and non-fiction. Now, if I'm to ask you again, where do we get autobiography or biography? Obvious, you tell me that autobiography or biography are found in this particular concept here. So we found autobiography, biography. What else? Obvious, you tell me about speech. But again, you tell me about this about the reports. In here, with the reports, can it be research reports? Remember, in non-fiction or all non-fiction works, they have to do with facts. Autobiography is all about facts. When you write your own story, it's fact. When writing somebody's story, somebody's life story, then it's all about facts, the speeches, the reports. There's no room here. You can manipulate the language. These are one can prove, can give evidence. Unlike a fiction, where it includes novels, short stories, plays, these are fictitious works which uses imaginary characters. But here, autobiography of someone's life, these are not imaginary people. These are real people. Think of autobiography of Malcolm X. Think of autobiography of Barack Obama. Again, you may think of autobiography of Mwalimu Nyerere, the late Mwalimu Nyerere. There are also biographies of different people. And I encourage you, students, start now preparing your own autobiography. Or you may even prepare biography of your parents, or of your friend, or of your teacher. But remember, you need to have facts. You need to gather information. It needs a research in here. Now, I believe that I've made you understood. Now, let us move to another expression. So, here we go. Our next question leads, it is a work of art that is performed on the stage and uses real human beings as characters. Now, my dear students, take a few seconds to think what could be the concept here, or the literary term which fits in here.
You are watching Darasa Online.
Go through these words, that a work of art which is performed on the stage, then it uses real human beings as characters. Now think yourself, is that a novel? Does the novel uses human beings as characters? Is the novel being acted or performed on the stage? Is a short story being performed on the stage? Is a play uses real human beings as characters? Now, what that particular work of art? I told you that the lesson line is not here to make you claim. The lesson line is there to prepare you, to have skills, to be able to analyze, to be able to apply, to identify. Having such a competencies, then it will be a responsible student, and later on you perform very well. By performing very well, you'll be a productive citizen, just because that's online is here to instill in you such skills. Now, can you think of that work of art, my dear students? I believe now you're able to tell that the concept here that fits here is it's a drama. A drama. That is a work of art which uses, or which is performed on the stage before the audience, and the characters or the actors and actresses are real human beings. The characters found in a man of the people, let's say Chief Nanga or Dili, these are imaginary characters. Again, think of characters we found in the Betrayal in the City. Think of Adika. Think of Tumbo. Think of Mulili. These are imaginary characters. But in a drama, uses characters who are really human beings. And it is performed on the stage before the audience. Now think of the drama, of the work of art, or a drama or a comedy that you have ever watched. Then the actors in there, the actresses in there are real human beings, are not imaginary. So the concept that fits here is drama, dear students. Now let's just move to another expression. So here is our next expression, as it says, an expression that is not socially accepted because it is offensive and thus socially prohibited. Again, my dear students, take a few seconds to think. What are those expressions, or an expression that is socially socially not acceptable because it is offensive, it is prohibited? Think of the words or phrases that once are being uttered in a society sounds offensive, sound bad, lack manners. Take some seconds to think. As I said earlier, it's not enough just for you to claim. Take time to think. Again, ask yourself, have you come across such offensive expressions or expressions which are socially prohibited that once are being uttered sound bad? Okay, I believe again that now you're able to agree with me. That expression or that concept that fits here will be a taboo. It's not taboos or taboo. Now, how do we come to arrive to say it's a taboo that fits in there? A taboo include words or phrases which sound offensive, which are very harsh. Once they're being uttered to the public, people say such words lack manners. Now, think of the works of art which you have come across with, say a novel, a drama, short story, where you find some words which sound offensive. Obvious. Again, you agree with me that a novel titled The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, it has some taboos in there. It has some words which sound very offensive and socially unacceptable words. Now, words which are found in that particular novel are such as uncircumcised baboon, you fuck. Students, remember that those are not my words. These words or these taboos are in that particular novel. Young Jewish vagina. Aiko Yamaha has used such words to tell the public, to tell the audience about the evils prevailing in Ghana. My dear students, now you agree with me that the literary term that fits in here is taboos. The words which lack manners, the words which are socially prohibited because they sound very harsh. For example, take a situation in a classroom. A student is asking his or her teacher to get out or to go out for a call of nature. Then he or she says, "Excuse me, madam," or "Excuse me, sir, can I go out to urinate?" Now, with that word "to urinate," it sounds bad. It sounds uncivilized. Now, by saying so, it's a taboo telling your teacher that I'm going to urinate or I'm going to poop. One would say, "Please, sir or madam, can I go for washroom?" Or "I want to go for washroom." That one will sound more civilized than the one who says, "Can I go out to urinate?" Or "I want to go out to urinate." Now, with the books or the literature books that we have gone through, say a novel, a short story, or a play, there are taboos. And I encourage you, please don't use taboos. A person or a student who is civilized would opt for euphemisms. So again here, the concept of euphemism now will be able to tell. Having this said, let us move to another question. Students, here is our expression. We are told to identify the literary term that fits in here. The highest point of interest or tension in the work of art. Again, take some few seconds to think what type of or what kind of literary concept fits in here. Obvious. You tell me, sir, it is a climax. A climax. Now, it's not enough, my dear students, by just saying climax. You should understand where this climax comes from. How did you come to arrive to this particular concept? In which subtopic or in which angle that this climax comes from? Do you remember the structure of a plot? You'd say yes. Now, remember, this climax in a work of art is found in a structure of a plot, which looks like this one. Look here, my dear students. So an artist, when preparing his or her work, when developing his work or her work, this kind of structure. Now, here is this point here, or this stage here, is called exposition. In some books, they call it a point of attack. And the next stage or point is raising action. Now, can you tell what the name of the next stage from raising action comes what? What the next stage after raising action, my dear students? Obvious, you tell me that one will be a climax. In some, they call it a point of no return. After climax, then we have another stage, which is falling action. And the last part or stage is denouement. In some books, they call it resolution. Students, now, this is a place of highest interest or tension in a work of art. Do you know how it looks like? Or how people arrive to that particular point? Take an example. You're reading a story or you're watching a drama. Then you reach this particular climax. Then you become so much excited. If not excited, you become so much nervous. You are so much worried. Maybe the actors in that particular drama, they're about to fight, they're about to shoot one another. Then tension rises. Or maybe you're watching a drama where friends meet here. The friends who are apart from one another for quite a long time, Then they meet together, having fun. As a reader or audience, you become so much excited seeing people or those friends or couples are together again. Now, this is where climax is found in a plot. Back to you, students. Have you ever come across with, have you ever reached this particular stage in the works of art that you have gone through? Maybe reading a short story, reading a novel, or watching a drama. Then you come up a point where you become so much excited or so much worried. You see characters, or a character is about to hang himself or herself. Then you'll be like, oh no, don't do that. If the character is like to hang himself or herself. But that particular character, maybe he's telling his life situation from childhood to adulthood. Maybe he has gone through difficult times. Then he reaches here and say, I don't see the meaning of life. I don't see the meaning of continuing living. Then he or she decide to commit suicide. You as audience, you as a readers or as a reader, that's a point of, it's the highest point of interest or tension. It's where you may even you may think of telling the character in such a particular drama, saying, no, don't do that, don't do that, because it's a point of high interest or tension. Having said this, using this particular, or basing on this particular structure, you should also be aware of this exposition, what it's all about. Being aware what is raising action, what is falling action, and what is a denouement. Remember, I'm not here to make you claim. I'm here, or the Darasa Online is here primarily to instill in you the relevant skills so as you become able, or you have abilities to attempt competency-based questions. So, back here, what is an exposition? Now, quickly, you tell me this is the beginning, or is this a point where the story starts, or a drama starts? It's a beginning, or it's a point where the work of art starts, where we see characters. Let's say in a play, Return the City. Now, we are shown Nina and Dogger at the graveyard preparing a shaving ceremony for their beloved son, who is Adika, who died during a students' demonstration. That is the point of attack, or that is an exposition. Or you are reading a short story. It starts, once upon a time, there lived a man and a woman who loved each other very well. Now, with that particular once upon a time, it's the exposition. It's a point of attack. It's the beginning of a story. Back to this one, raising action. This is a stage, or it's a point in a work of art where we can see either characters, for example, showing characters disagreeing one another. Characters do not understand one another. Each character becomes too much argumentative. Now, being in such temper, or being in such arguments, then here, at the climax you see such characters start fighting, one taking a gun or a big knife, or one start thinking of committing suicide. Again, with the following action. This is a point in a work of art where we see, for example, characters, their tempers or their differences go down. If the characters who are in arguments, now they start becoming friends or start understanding one another. Now, with the denouement or resolution, it's a stage or a point in a work of art where we see characters, for example, who were in differences, who were opposing one another, come to reconcile. They put apart their differences and they become one thing. They hug. They forgive one another. That's the denouement. Resolution is reached. A person who was about to commit suicide, he or she now postpones. Dear students, let us move to another question regarding this particular lesson. Here it is. Our expression reads a type of drama that shows serious actions, and always the hero or heroine ends into danger, death, injuries, or committing suicide. Now, my students, a type of drama that a character or major characters or the hero or heroine ends into danger. Now, can you tell? Would you say a novel? Now, it's a novel type of drama. So, oh no, that doesn't work. Doesn't fit in that particular part. Now, is that a short story? Obviously, you say no. A short story doesn't fit here because a short story is not a drama. Then you think of then a play. You say no. There's a play and a drama. So here I'm asking about the drama, a type of drama. Now, my students, think of that concept that fits in here. And you, audience, become so unhappy. You feel so down. Seeing such hero or heroine undergoing such, the times you find yourself as an audience shedding tears. But that's a drama. It's not a comedy. But a comedy, does a hero or heroine ends into danger or death or committing suicide? You say, oh, this no. Comedy is all about people laughing, having fun. My dear students, now that type of drama here is called tragedy. Tragedy drama. Tragedy drama. That's the concept that fits in here, where that tragedy comes from. You'd agree with me that a tragedy comes from the forms of drama. Where we have comedy, we have tragedy, we have comedy tragedy. So, we are right here. This is a point where we are. Remember, from the very beginning, I told you that I'm not here to make you claim, rather to make you understand. So by having an ability of just of knowing or understanding where does this tragedy comes from, so you come to arrive that a tragedy comes from the forms of drama, and some book says types of drama. So we are right here. Back to you, students. Have you ever seen or watched a drama where you see a hero or a central character undergoing such situation, endangering his life, or a main character dies, or gets serious injuries, gets or commits suicide, or get a tragedy accident, you have been watching at home or elsewhere on the cinema, where you see heroes and heroines or main characters experiencing such situation, which is horrible. My dear students, remember the so-called horror movies. They're so fearful. They're so scary. There are times you are at the cinema watching such movie, you start shedding tears. You end up shedding tears, or become so fearful. You go back home, start remembering all the situation, all the miseries that hero or heroine went through. Very unhappy. That is a tragedy. This is unlike comedy, my students. Now, let us move to another literary expression and see the next concept. Students, are you following? I believe you should be. Our next expression reads, it is a form of repetition where the word used in the end of a sentence and then used again at the beginning of the next sentence. Again, take some few seconds to think the relevant concept that fits in here when composing your poem, let's say, where you start composing a poem, the first sentence, now the last word in your first sentence becomes the first word in the next sentence. Now, can you tell me what that term is, or what that concept is? Okay, let's just look at this example. My dear students, look at this simple example. Children need love. Now, the last word in this particular sentence is this one, love, here. So, take an example. This is just like a short poem, a piece of poem with these 3 verses. Now, it starts, children need love. And this is our last word in our first sentence. In the next sentence, the first word, the last word then comes to be the first word in the next sentence. And this is love. Then the last word in this particular sentence, which is God, becomes the first in the following sentence. Do you see this style? Now, with this particular example, would you tell me now what kind of literal concept that fits? Now, in literature, that particular term is called anadiplosis. Here are anadiplosis. It's where it's a formal repetition. Now, this word love here has been repeated twice. There's love here and right here. Again, the word God has also been repeated right here and this one here. So this continues. If I'm to extend this particular poem, I would say God the Creator. Then I would say Creator of heaven, Creator of heaven and earth. Earth we live in. etc., etc. Now, you see again, the creator. The word creator here, again, creator right here. Again, earth. Again, here at the beginning, we have the word earth. Now, that form of repetition is called anadiprosis. Think of another term that is also a form of repetition. Think about anaphora. Anaphora. Because the expression in here is different from the concept of anaphora. The concept that fits here is anadiprosis. Though anaphora is also a form of repetition, but here, if you put here, it doesn't work. Okay, here is our expression. A story that explains the origin or nature and the beliefs of some phenomena in the society. For example, when one tells or asks you, how comes that a giraffe has a long neck? Now, there are myths, there are stories that explain, for the students who are keen enough, who are attentive, who are a good listener, now may tell. The concept or the term here is myth. It's a myth. My students, there's a story, there's a myth that explains the origin or the nature for a giraffe having a long neck. Remember, myth based on untrue things, but they help to tell us the origin of some things or phenomena in your society. Originally, myths were in oral form, were being narrated orally, were being narrated even before the discovery of science of writing. So it's an oral kind of work of art or kind of concept. Now, back to you students. Can you tell me any myth? Can you narrate to me any myth that you know? Or can you narrate that myth to your friend, to your colleague at home, or to your brother or sister at home? This is the assignment. Please go and find a myth, any myth. Thank you. Now let us move to another concept. My dear students, the next concept reads, it's a brief and indirect reference to a person, a place, or thing, or an idea of historical or political, cultural significance, and it is hardly provide details of such person or place or a thing at hand. For instance, you're reading a poem. Now, at the middle of that particular poem, or at the beginning of that particular poem, the very famous hotel or the name of a very famous hotel is mentioned. Or the name of a very famous person is mentioned at the middle or at the beginning of that particular story. For example, reading a poem, then at the middle you see the name of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. Then the poem continues. Or you're reading a poem, at the middle of the poem, then a very famous city like New York is mentioned. Then the poem continues. Or you're reading a story or a novel. Then while at the middle of the novel, the king's ceremony is mentioned. Obvious. You tell me that concept is allusion. Remember a poem titled Building the Nation. There is an allusion in there. For those who have gone through this poem, you will agree with me that the word Vic is an allusion. Okay, now let's just move to our last expression. Dear students, with this expression, now take some few seconds to think what kind of dramatic concepts fits here. For example, I'm here as your teacher. I'm here on the stage. Then I'm acting. I'm like, now look here, my students. Yeah, it looks funny, but I want to elaborate a point here. I'm just expressing my feelings, my emotions, without speaking. The dramatic technique which fits in here is called mime.
You are watching Darasa Online.
Mime. In some books, they call it pantomime. Pantomime, where a character, an actor or actress is on the stage, then expressing his feelings or emotions using body movement, showing his facial expression. Maybe he's so happy, or he or she is very down. He's kneeling down, then asking God's help, but without speaking, without the word of mouth. My dear students, that technique is called mime. I believe you have come across with this, seeing characters on the stage, actors or actresses using their body movement or body language without word of mouth, expressing their feelings or their emotions. Students, this marks the end of our session or of our lesson today. I trust that the lesson was clear. But again, I'm available if you may need of some clarification in some areas which I was unable to make you clear. Thank you for your attention. May God bless you.
yote majeraha, mbele yangu umechomoza, umenivusha kwenye giza, haramu kukupoteza, umenivisha kidani cha wema na ihsan, maasi siyatamani, vipi nisikuthamini, umenivisha kidani cha wema na ihsan, maasi siyatamani, vipi nisikuthamini, shauku yangu moyo yamekosa kufichika mahaba yako moyoni. Machozi yatoka kwa shaka lenye yakini, na ulimi watamka watoa siri za ndani. Kama kupendwa kuzuri wewe upo kileleni, umeshinda jauhari na lulu na marijani, na gizoni mashuhuri zinazopendwa duniani. Ndiye unatufundisha kujua yetu dini, ndiye unatuonesha njia njema ya janani.
Tabasamu limerudi, tabasamu lako naliimbe, tabasamu lako lionekane, na uzuri wako usambae. Tabasamu langu linasambaa kwa uzuri, na uzuri uruhusu kwa watu wako, na ufanye uzuri huu uende kote.
Mafuta ya kupaka Comfy ni kinga ya ngozi yako inayojali milele.
Nchi yetu tangu tumepata uhuru ilikuwa na hospitali za wilaya 77 tu. Hivi sasa tunajenga 67. Tukienda kwa mwendo huu, nina uhakika katika muda mfupi uliobaki itakuwa kila wilaya na wilaya zingine zinaweza zikawa na hospitali mbili za wilaya. Tumeongeza bajeti ya dawa na vifaa tiba kutoka shilingi bilioni 31 hadi shilingi bilioni 270 mwaka huu. Aidha, tumeajiri watumishi wa afya wapatao 11,152 na pia tumejenga nyumba za watumishi takribani 306. Tumeianza safari ya maendeleo katika sekta ya afya. Nina matumaini makubwa, ndugu zangu wa Tanzania, tutafanikiwa.
Tunatekeleza 2020.
Asante kwa kuendelea kuitazama TBC. Karibu katika Dira ya Mchana. Jina langu ni Zaituni Hamisi. Tunaanzia mkoani Tanga. Waziri wa Nishati Dr. Medad Kalemani ametoa siku 10 kwa mamlaka ya udhibiti wa huduma za nishati na maji EWURA kumpatia majibu ya uwiano wa viwango vya bei ya mafuta katika maghala ya kupokea na kuhifadhi mafuta nchini. Dr. Kalemani amesema hayo wakati alipotembelea ghala la kuhifadhia mafuta la GBP iliyoko mkoani Tanga ili kuona kama agizo alilolitoa Machi mwaka huu la kuwataka waagizaji wa mafuta kuwa na mafuta ya kutosha kutokana na tishio la kuwepo kwa virusi vya korona. Aidha, Dkt. Kalimani amesema serikali imeweka utaratibu wa kuweka maghala ya kupokea na kuhifadhi mafuta katika kila ukanda wa nchi kwa lengo la kuwapunguzia gharama za usafiri wa wafanyabiashara wa mafuta na kuwawezesha watumiaji kupata huduma hiyo kwa haraka, karibu na kwa bei nafuu wakati wote. Aidha, ametoa wito kwa wafanyabiashara wa mafuta wa kanda ya kaskazini ikiwemo mikoa ya Arusha, Kilimanjaro, Manyara na Tanga kutumia ghala la kuhifadhia mafuta na kupokea mafuta yaliyopo mkoani Tanga kuliko kuyafuata jijini Dar es Salaam. Tuelekee sasa kule mkoani Iringa ambapo wananchi wa kata ya Mloa iliyopo wilaya ya Iringa wameshukuru serikali kwa kupeleka gari la kubeba wagonjwa kunusuru maisha ya kina mama wajawazito na watoto wanaoshindwa kwenda hospitali ya rufaa kwa ajili ya huduma hiyo. Wakizungumza baada ya kupokea gari hilo lililotolewa na serikali na kutumika na kituo cha afya cha Mloa, wamesema walilazimika kutumia gharama za zaidi ya shilingi 50,000. Kutoka Iringa, Irene Mwakalinga ana taarifa zaidi.
Furaha ya kuliona gari la kubeba wagonjwa na matumaini ya huduma bora za afya ndivyo wanavyoonekana wananchi wa kata ya Mloa. Wananchi hao wanasema kumbe serikali imesikia kilio chao cha muda mrefu baada ya kutumia gharama kubwa kusafirisha wagonjwa.